Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Creative Differences Podcast, the podcast where we talk about TV and movies and sometimes what TV characters would do if they joined OnlyFans. I'm Dallas, and I will explain that last bit later in the episode.
I'm Cassie, and it's funny because that does actually make me think of something related to something that you're gonna be talking about later.
Fun.
Yeah.
Oh no. And I'm Demi, and guys, it is Star Wars month 2026, and I'm hyped. Are you hyped? I'm so hyped.
Hey.
Because I have a deep-seated feeling in me that's just labeled Star Wars, and I can't explain it. But every time the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer comes on, I smile like a little kid. Welcome to another episode of the Creative Differences Podcast, your one-stop shop for movie reviews, Fancast Fridays, Throwback Thursdays, and a number of other pop culture-related items. Today, we will be talking about several things. It's been a while, and there's a lot going on right now. We will be talking about The Devil Wears Prada 2, Invincible, Monarch, Legacy of Monsters, and Abbott Elementary.
Yes, we are all over the place. We have a fashion movie, a monster show, a superhero show, and a school workplace sitcom.
Everything, everywhere, all at once.
Yeah, you gotta like something we're talking about. Otherwise, what do you even watch?
Nothing.
Or I guess
for
otherwise
Cassie.
you'd be Cassie, because Cassie hasn't seen any of these things.
I watch things, just not those things.
That's fair.
And yet you choose never to talk about any of them.
Well, because most of them are in the past.
That's true.
Like, am I
She's
going
still
to talk
watching
about
Grey's
how I
Anatomy all the time.
finally finished The Expanse? No, because that's not relevant.
We
Fair.
have a section for that.
Yeah.
But she also got her own segment now. So shout out Cassie and Tim and It Takes. We'll get to that later. Gabby's not here. Gabby hasn't been here in ages. You knew she wouldn't be here. Stop asking.
Godzilla
But if
got
you
her.
see her, that's what we're looking for. Godzilla ate her up.
Trapped in Axis Mundi.
Dang. Hate to see it. I really miss my nigga.
I really miss my nigga. White people you can sing it to, just change that into a W. Miss my wigger.
Anyway, before we get into the episode, please hit the like and share and subscribe buttons and send it to all your friends and your enemies and your acquaintances, everybody in between. Because I'm going to have to start getting annoying about it on social media again, and nobody wants that. You can just do it now. You can avoid all that. And if you're listening to this, you probably follow me, so get ready for the bombardment. All right, let's listen to Demi talk about Devil Wears Prada 2.
Yeah, let's get into it. The Devil Wears Prada 2 was directed by David Frankel, who also directed the first Devil Wears Prada. He has also directed Collateral Beauty and Band of Brothers. The movie was written by Aline Brosh McKenna, and she also wrote the original Devil Wears Prada, 27 Dresses, We Bought a Zoo, and she created Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. The movie stars Meryl Streep, Anne Hathaway, Emily Blunt, Stanley Tucci, Justin Theroux, Simone Ashley, and Kenneth Branagh. And the IMDb summary is Andy Sachs reunites with Miranda Priestley as they navigate their careers amid the decline of traditional magazine publishing. Accurate. That is what this movie is about. And that is one of the reasons why I really enjoyed it. I loved this movie a lot. I thought it was great. I thought they did a really good job making a sequel that also has a story of its own. The first movie was very much about Andy, played by Anne Hathaway, who was an aspiring journalist who was trying to achieve her dreams and ambitions. And part of the ways that she did that was to work at a fashion magazine. She has no interest in fashion whatsoever. But the movie was about what she was willing to do to achieve her dreams and her ambitions. And then here we are 20 years later, and now The Devil Wears Prada 2 is about what she's willing to do when those dreams and ambitions that she has worked so hard for are being killed around her by just like societal means. You know, journalism is kind of dying right now because we don't do print news anymore. Everything's digital and everything is, we scroll past things so fast. How do you get people's attentions and all that sort of stuff? And this movie really tackles that subject matter. It's a very pro art, in my opinion, because I think journalism is somewhat of an art, but also because they're talking about fashion. Fashion is also an art. And they are also very blatantly anti-AI and also very blatantly like talking about how, well, not talking about, but showing how much tech billionaires will get their hands on companies and then destroy the thing that they bought.
You don't say.
How badly they want to be the arbiters of taste. When, as Miranda Priestley says in this movie, you're not a visionary.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic. It's great. And it makes me love the movie all the more. I feel like it's been such a long time since I've seen Anne Hathaway play a character like Andy Sachs, who is kind of similar to Mia Thermopolis from The Princess Diaries, which was the movie that kind of like put her career into the stratosphere. It was her breakout role. And like, I think this type of character is what really like was the foundation of her career for a time period. And so it's really nice to see her come back to that type of character because she's so good at it.
Yeah.
Just so good at playing like the earnestness, even in like being older, like 20 years later. Like, I still believe that this woman is still so earnest, but also has matured in that earnesty. Also just a little bit reckless and a little impulsive sometimes. I really like the way that they actually portrayed all of these characters because they make sense 20 years later. Like, it feels like they're the same people, but it does feel like they've matured in a way that fits for like the time that we're currently living in. Like, it doesn't feel like Andy didn't mature in the 20 years since we last saw her. She does feel like a fully formed adult.
Right.
But it is crazy the way that being around Miranda Priestley can kind of send her back into the mode that she was in 20 years ago when she's trying to like impress this woman who is unimpressible for the most part.
Right.
Meryl Streep is amazing as always. Meryl Streep has a very strict no sequel policy. The only time that she has ever broken it is her cameo appearance in Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again. And this is the first time that she's full on done a sequel where she is one of the leads in the movie. And I can understand why she would choose to come back. Obviously, she's amazing as Miranda. She always will be. There's a scene of her in Italy that I think is absolutely stunning. There's no dialogue. It's just her. You can feel the heaviness of what the movie is talking about. And like, there's almost like an existential dread about art in the movie that I really, really like. Stanley Tucci is one of my favorite actors. I love him so much. I really like what they did with Nigel in the movie. And like Anne, I feel like Emily Blunt hasn't done a role like her character Emily in The Devil Wears Prada in such a long time.
Yeah, she's been shooting stuff.
But she hasn't been a character. Like, I was watching the movie and at one point my brain went, this is the same woman who played Mary Poppins in the Mary Poppins sequel.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like, Mary Poppins can be mean. Like, she can be very stern, but Emily just has so much bite to her, and she's like mean. Like, she's a mean girl, mean. And it was so fun to watch Emily Blunt return to this. The movie takes advantage of the fact that Anne Hathaway and Emily Blunt have had a friendship since the first movie, that they are very close now, so it takes advantage of that chemistry. It gives Emily Blunt more to do than she has in the first movie, because I think Emily Blunt, like, for a supporting character in the first movie, she is a standout, so she gets to like kind of also be one of the leads in this movie. And I think that's phenomenal. I think they do a good job with it. Simone Ashley is a supporting character in this movie, and she's very, very good. I don't know if I've seen Simone Ashley like very much because I do not watch Bridgerton, but she's very good in this movie. She just kind of fits into the environment. So yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. I thought that the story was really good. It felt like they weren't just going, we're making a sequel for the sake of a sequel. It did feel like, hey, it's been 20 years, times have changed, journalism has changed, and we're not going to ignore the evolution that time has brought us to. We are going to discuss those things in this movie, but we are going to give you the things that you liked about the first movie. We're going to give you the biting wit. We're going to make it sharp. We're going to make it funny. We're going to have the fashion. We're going to have some fun. But we're also going to talk about some things while we're doing it, but not in a way that's going to be like too dramatic and boring for you. We're still going to have a lot of fun and fashion. So I thought they did a great job with this sequel. It was definitely worth the 20 years of waiting. And I feel like it felt right. The characters felt right. The story felt right. Like, everything felt right across the board. So that's my review of The Devil Wears Prada 2. I hope you guys go out and see it. Hope you guys enjoy it. If you are a fan of the first movie, you are very likely to be a fan of the second one.
Nice. Happy to hear that they modernized it well.
They did. I was very happy to see that. Because sometimes I'll go into like a sequel of a movie and I'll be like excited for it, and then it won't be as good as I thought it would be. But this one I was like, yeah, this is just what I wanted it to be. This is just right. This is chef's kiss. Beautiful. Love it.
Especially when it takes like 20 years, you're always like, what's this going to be after all this time?
Yeah, they weren't just jangling keys with this sequel.
All right.
Just going from one
Invincible.
mean place to another.
Very, very different types of mean. Yeah, Invincible. It is created by Robert Kirkman. He created the Invincible comics. He created the Walking Dead comics. He did the Marvel Zombie comics. Lots of violent comic books. It stars, I say this every time, everybody and their mama. If you think of a voice actor, they're probably in it. but primarily Stephen Yun, Sandra Oh, J.K. Simmons, Jillian Jacobs, Christian Convery, Walton Goggins. I had to stop the list somewhere. Everybody's in it. Like I said, it's based on the Image comic series of the same name. You probably know what Invincible is by now, but in case you don't, IMDb summary is an adult animated series based on the Skybound Image comic about a teenager whose father is the most powerful superhero on the planet. We are way past that because we're in season 4, but that's the gist.
Hey, you said these are very different types of mean. I think Miranda Priestley could be a Viltrumite. I think she'd survive.
I would love if Meryl Streep voiced the Viltrumite.
She could do it. She could do anything.
She would be great. She would be great. So I think I say this every season, but this show is a great example of bringing people involved with the source material into adaptations and how it can work well, because you have the vision of the person who told the original story and they can tell it in a different medium. And it's like, yeah, we look at that. They did it well there. They did it a little different here. Not everybody's a white dude. Appreciate that. Robert Kirkman has talked about it. Like, hey, I made this when I was like a 20-year-old white dude in college. So that was my perspective. And now it's like, hey, maybe some of these characters are women. Maybe some of these characters are black. I love that. But yeah, great season. The Grayson family drama, the space battles, the fetch quest. I was locked in for pretty much everything. There's one side quest in hell that wasn't my favorite part of the season. But even
that's
that
funny
episode,
because that's when the season started getting great for me.
so it's interesting because that's kind of like a midpoint, and for me, it was right after that. But even that episode did have some high points, especially with Mark and Damien having their back and forth. But right after that, when we like really get to the scraps, that's when they got it for me.
Well, yeah, so I will say this. I think the first half of the season wasn't really hitting for me. Like, I felt like I was watching it just because I like Invincible, but I wasn't really invested in, like, the first half of the season. I really, like, I was enjoying the episodes, but I wasn't, like, every week it would come back and I'd be like, oh, right, I have to watch Invincible. Until we started getting to the back half of the season where, like, yeah, all the war stuff started to happen. I was like, here we go. Here's the storyline that I've been waiting for us to do. I do feel like sometimes Invincible suffers from too many subplots going on.
They do have a lot going on.
And I'll be like, is this one important? No,
right.
We're not coming back to this anytime soon. Okay, well, fine, I guess this is fun. And that's cool for like if you're doing an episodic show, but this show is pretty serialized. Like you don't want to miss much because then you miss out on like the emotional impact of the battle that we had to watch over the last half of the season, which once Omni-Man gets back to Earth, that's when I'm like, finally, this is the stuff I've been waiting for. Like, let's deal with the backlash of what Omni-Man did last time he was here. Let's deal with his and Mark's relationship. Let's deal with him and Oliver. Like, the him and Oliver episode is probably my favorite episode of the season.
It's a great one. I love Oliver this season.
It might be my favorite episode of the show.
It's a really good one. And
it's very
shout
good.
out to Christian Convery. It's so funny listening to voice actors when they're kids, because between seasons his voice changed so much and Oliver ages at a rapid rate because of his like alien heritage or whatever. But I was like, does Christian Convery age as fast as Oliver? Because that was a little ass boy last season. And I was like, Mark, I'm like, well, that's a different boy. That's a different kid. But yeah, I do love all of their family drama. The scene with Debbie and Nolan finally talking, Sandra oh my God. Like, she needs some kind of award for that scene alone. Like, the way that she screams after she hits him, I was shaking to my core. I was like, oh God, I'm feeling some things right now.
She's still the MVP character of the show, in my opinion. She's
Debbie's
like
great.
the best. She's the best character. Yeah, that last half of the season, when we finally get to the war against the Viltrumites, oh man. And then that battle episode, listen, I said it in my review on Serialized. The Viltrumites take Get It in Blood to a whole different level. That's a whole different thing.
They go crazy.
It's insane.
Crazy.
And it was funny because we got to the fight and I was like, all right, cool. I know what to expect from Viltrumites. We know they're super powerful, but we got like a pretty strong team right now. We got this. And then Thrag entered the battle and I was like, you're OP. Why is nothing working? Why does nothing work on you?
Thrag is such a dope villain. First of all, who knew that Viltrumites had black barbershops? Because that's the cleanest fade in the galaxy. I've never seen one like that before. But like the way he comes in, the way that everyone tries their hardest, including Oliver's dumbass. Oliver, I love you, but you don't listen. Nolan was like, hey, stay away from that one. Stay away from him. And Oliver went and literally got the taste slapped out of his mouth. But Thrag, like his dialogue, Lee Pace's performance, the way they animate him. There's a scene when Mark punches Thrag in the head, and the animation goes like black and red like an anime, and I was like, what was that? What just happened?
Nothing happened. That's exactly
Nothing
what happened.
He punched the hell out of the man and did nothing. Yeah, Thrag is dope. Great villain.
So I used to watch a guy react to animated shows
Mhm.
like a couple years back. That was actually probably how I super got into reaction videos, was watching him watch animated shows, and he's an animator, so like he kind of knows like how things work. And one of the things that I learned from watching him is that like animated shows will save up their budget to do like one specific sequence or episode, and you can tell because all of a sudden everything is on 10. And it's so fun to watch Invincible and see when everything is suddenly on 10, because you're like, oh, that's what they saved budget. Like there's a scene of like the spaceship exploding, and I was like, oh, the animation is suddenly very crisp all of a sudden. What are we about to do?
It's always funny because Invincible has like, I think, the most notorious reputation of doing this, because you'll get like 6 episodes where people are like, they're just dragging a PNG across the screen for this show. And then like the last couple episodes, it's like, oh, that's where the money went. I got it. We needed it for the fight scene.
It's like, yeah, everything's been on a 7 on the model scale, and then suddenly everybody's on character model, like perfectly at all times. And it's like the most insane thing. But it's always like the coolest thing ever when it does switch to all 10.
It's always worth it. It's always worth the wait.
It's great. And with the way that the season left off, I am excited for what next season is going to bring.
Yeah, the show is great. I very much enjoy it. It is off-puttingly violent. Like when you're talking about the Viltrumites getting it back in blood, like I
almost threw up this season.
Jesus. Freaking Conquest.
I almost threw up. And I've never almost thrown up watching an animated show.
It's crazy.
I had to look away from my computer because I was like, I can't do it.
I was gonna say, like, yo, everyone involved in the animation for episode 5 needs to be locked up, because
you went too hard in the paint.
You put them on the list with who'd I say? Donald Gleason, Paul Dano, whoever's on that list. All the animators for episode 5, also on the list, because there's no way that I should be seeing this man essentially try to make chitlins out of another human being.
Yeah,
that's the best way I can describe it.
However, it did lead
not a human being,
to
but an alien.
What might be my favorite episode of Invincible. So, however, I did not need to see how it happened. It was fine.
We don't need that.
It was cool for one shot, and then we came back to it twice more, and I was like, I can't stop, please.
It's so long. It felt like half the episode. Like, all right, bro.
I've watched
to be getting up in his guts like that.
40 minutes of this episode, but this is what's staying with me.
It's insane. God. They're all insane.
Also, shout out to Zoe Deutsch. I was so excited to hear her voice on the show.
She was great. I did not place her voice because I don't think I've ever heard her do voice acting. But I was like, I know this voice. Who is this? But she was great. Shout out to Zoe.
Yeah, I know her voice because I've been watching her for so many years, and I was just like, who is this? I do know you. And then when I went to look it up, I was like, oh, yeah, of course I know you.
And she was one of the characters that people talk about in the comics. I think that character's name is Zach or something. It's a dude. But
okay.
He looked just like Mark. So like, it was like, not only would this be confusing, but we have a chance to make this cast a little diverse. And, people are going to complain because people are lame. But we got Zoe Deutsch, and we got an awesome dynamic between Tech Jacket, her character, and Oliver, and then Tech Jacket and Alan. Like, she bonds with everybody in these fun ways because she's a really fun character.
Yeah, she's great. I love her.
Yeah, she's fantastic. Great season. All the Viltrumite fights were fantastic. Oh, a couple of things I want to say before we get out of here for this. Emperor Argall, the bad Viltrumite emperor from the past, and Thetis, his enemy, being voiced by Megatron and Optimus Prime, might be my favorite casting choice the show has ever done. Because Thetis has been in the show for a couple seasons, and, he has the Optimus Prime voice. I'm like, oh, that's great. Optimus Prime. Perfect casting. And then we find out the guy that he went up against is voiced by Megatron. I was like, all right, y'all got it. This is great. You won me over. And
Seth Rogen was in the producing room like, so I really got this idea.
Yeah. He's like, the nerds are going to love it. And we do. Going back to Thrag, one of the big ending confrontations of this show, or this season, being a conversation, was so refreshingly restrained. Because like we talked about, this is a show where if they can show you someone getting blown up or losing all the blood in their body at once, they're going to do that. So when we're in this like anxiety with Mark leading up to the end, it's basically a conversation. I was like, oh, this feels very different. This is not what you expect from a superhero show like this. And the line, "You have no choice, and yet you must make one," so gangsta, especially in context. Like,
yeah, it being a conversation, because by that point, because of what we've seen with the Viltrumites all season, you already as a viewer have as much paranoia and PTSD as Mark does.
right.
So like I spent the whole episode like, Mark, your PTSD is giving me paranoia. Please stop. So when we do get to that final scene, even I'm like, is this real? Are we actually doing this? Like, and then when he blinked and it was still real, I was like, go call Cecil. We gotta go. We gotta go.
Call somebody. Get somebody on the phone. It's a code red. It's bad out here.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
Great show, great performances. I didn't get to talk about everybody, but Julian Jacobs as Eve is great. J.K. Simmons as Omni-Man is fantastic. Walton Goggins as Cecil is always great.
I got to talk to you about that Eve storyline later when we're off mic, because when he got back, I was like, so,
Shout out to Make a Thief thicker than a bowl of oatmeal. We love to see it. Thick Eve, thick Eve, thick
Yo,
Eve.
so that actually, I think I said this in the chat, but like, I don't watch the show. I don't know much about this show. All I got was a message in a Discord server of like, so how do we all feel about Adam Eve making her boobs bigger when she's healing after a fight? And this is a Discord server full of trans girls. So like universally, we were all like, oh, it is kind of gross and misogynistic, but would. Oh my God, would in a second.
Also, when you sent that, I was confused at first, but I do think that is a comics thing.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know.
So like Thick Eve is also in the comics, but this is
we love that for her.
In the show, you know, she does regenerate her body, but I don't think the show actually makes any reference of, look at these titties, they're bigger. I think that's a comics thing. But I mean, hey, you love titties. Shout out to titties. Shout out to Adam Eve.
This switch up is about to be crazy. So we're going to go talk about Invincible got monsters. This show was all about monsters. We're going to talk about Monarch Legacy of Monsters, which is...
I don't think the monsters have titties. I didn't finish the
Missed
season.
opportunity.
yeah, I don't know. I don't think we're doing that.
Okay. Not that kind of show.
Not that kind of show. Anyway, the show was developed by Chris Black, who is a producer on Severance, Mad Men, Ugly Betty, Desperate Housewives, and by Matt Fraction, who is most well known for his comic book run on Hawkeye from 2012 to 2015. One of the best Hawkeye runs, and also that run was specifically adapted for the Hawkeye TV series.
Nice.
The TV show stars Anna Sawai, Kiersey Clemens, Rin Watabe, Joe Tippett, Mari Yamamoto, Anders Holm, Wyatt Russell, and Kurt Russell. And the IMDb summary is, set after the battle between Godzilla and the Titans, revealing that monsters are real, follows one family's journey to uncover its buried secrets and a legacy linking them to Monarch. Yeah, that's the show. I love this show more than I could have ever possibly expected or imagined. Like, we're at a point where sometimes I'm like, I don't really want to talk about this show with people because y'all don't get this show the way that I get this show. Like, I love it so much and was so excited that it was coming back after I caught up on the first season last year. I think most of my shock comes from the fact that when it comes to the Monsterverse, my favorite movie of the Monsterverse is still Godzilla 2014. It's the one that I care most about. It's the one that I have enjoyed the most. And everything since then I've liked, but like to varying degrees. Most of the Godzilla movies, I'm apparently a Godzilla girly, more so than a King Kong girly. But one of my biggest gripes with those movies has been not really having an emotional connection to the human characters that are in them. Monarch is the complete opposite for me, where everything about this show that I love mostly has to do with these human characters and the constant mess that they are in. And not like Godzilla, big monster mess, but like, hey, our personal lives and our interpersonal relationships are an absolute mess. Like, it's a garbage fire. And we're trying to figure out how to work through that at any given moment. But also Godzilla's over there. So
they're a bunch of hoes. Hoes
I
everywhere.
love it.
As far as the eye can see.
Dallas.
I'm 3 episodes into season 2. I'm like, we already got generational hold'em It runs in the family.
And it's beautiful. It's one of my, why can't more shows be this messy? That's what I want. I want shows to be this
watching
messy.
Reality TV. I don't know what to tell you. Like, if you want mess,
No, I don't want to watch reality TV. I want fictional drama. I want fictional
that's
mess.
still fictional. Let's be honest.
But different.
But it's different.
fictional.
It's not the same. This is a different. I don't want people throwing glasses at each other. I want you guys to be
Oh.
trying to have conversations about these things. But then there's Godzilla nearby. Like that's like
Right.
crazy work. Like that's what I want.
Okay.
Like
So
imagine
if
getting a
Adam
divorce, but
Driver
also there's Godzilla.
punches the wall in a movie. That's fine. But Housewife number 1
I actually
throws a
love that
glass
movie.
at Housewife number 2, and that's a problem. I don't see the difference really.
One of them is fiction and one of them is not. I don't want real world people to be this messy. I only want my fictional characters to be this messy. Anyway, the show.
Yeah.
My biggest thing about the show is I love that it really is a show about intergenerational drama and how things that were done in the past have impacts on things that are done now, how the things that happened to Keiko Mora, Keiko Randa, depending on which name you want to use, how the things that happened to her and to Bill Randa and to Lee Shaw, how the things that they did have an effect on Hiroshi Randa and like his upbringing and who he became as a person because of things that maybe they had no control over, choices that they made, what their ambitions were, how those things affected him in his life growing up, and how the issues that he developed from those things led to issues that he then passed on to his own children in Kate and Kentaro.
Yeah.
I love the exploration of that. That's what I mean by like, I love when characters are messy because I like the fact that we're exploring like, oh, these things have consequences. Even the things that you think that you're doing that are good, maybe that does have a good impact on the world at large. How is it affecting your personal relationship with your son? How does you going missing, not by your own fault, mind you, but you were gone for so long, how does that impact your son's life? He's still a small child. What does that do to him? And then what is who he become? How does that impact his own children? So great. So good. This show also, I think my favorite thing that they did this season was I felt like first season, our younger generation of characters was very reactive to the story that was happening around them. The story was happening and they were having to respond to the things in hopes that they would make the right decision. Where this time around, I feel like they've made all those characters very proactive. They split them up in a very Empire Strikes Back sort of way where they all go their separate ways, evolve as people, become somebody new, and then come back together at the end of the season. And like we have to figure out how that dynamic now works now that they've all become like, or not that they become somebody different, but now that they have new ambitions and they have new goals and they've discovered what they actually want. I love it for the characters. I love it for that stuff. So when I see people complaining about there not being enough monsters, I'm like, no, that's not the point of the show. I know it's a MonsterVerse show, but that's not the point of the show. The point of the show is this family who happens to be so wrapped up in monsters. But I am somebody who is like, I would not be interested in watching a Godzilla movie that is just 2 hours of Godzilla. Godzilla Minus One is currently my favorite Godzilla movie because of the human drama that Godzilla just punctuates with his dramatic arrivals. That's how I feel like Godzilla should work as a character. And I think that's how all the monsters work on Monarch. And I think that they do a really good job of that. Also, there are way more monsters this season. We see so many more monsters, so much more often. The design of Titan X is incredible. Love it. And I love the storyline that they have going with that. I love what they do with Kate making like a very wretched decision at the beginning I don't know, but I get it though on an emotional level. Like I'm like, yeah,
I get the motivation for it.
I'm like, of course I totally understand why you would do that because I might do that.
Jeez.
And also everybody say thank you, Kate, we got more monsters because of Kate. All right, so
Everybody watching could be like, thank you, Kate. Everybody in the show is like, goodness gracious, Kate, why?
Yeah, for sure. But I also like that the season kind of, for her, it spent very much contemplating that choice and whether or not it was her fault, if she is guilty, if she is to blame for what happens, if she made the right decision, whether it was the wrong decision, or even if there is such a thing as it being right or wrong. And I think that's what I really like about the show is it's not about whether decisions are right or wrong. Like that's very subjective. It's about whether or not you take ownership of the choice that you made.
Right.
And that's what's important. So I think the show does a good job of that. Yeah. So Obsessed. Visual effects look good this season. The show looks good.
Yeah.
There is a scene between Kentaro and May in like episode 6 or something. I don't remember which episode it was. I just remember that I almost threw my phone across the room. I screamed. Listen, I'm a shipper girl. I love me a ship. And whoo boy, they finally addressed the shipper elephant in the room, and I was very happy about it. I had a great time. I love this show. I'm very sad that the season's over because now who knows if I'll have to wait another 3 years for season 3.
Yeah, I think that was part of the thing, is that between seasons, like the amount that I cared about the show dwindled a lot. And I'm also, I got a lot going on. I have a 9-to-5 job. I got a wife who doesn't watch the same things I watch, so I got to find time to watch things with her. And I watch the other dozen shows that I'm watching. I watch wrestling every week. It's a lot. So, yeah.
It is the upside to me having watched it last year versus having watched it 3 years ago.
True.
Because for me, it's fresh. I'm like, oh, I fell in love with this show last year and now it's back. Thank God. I'm so excited to watch it. But yeah, like if it's been 3 years, TV got to go back to having a season a year. You can't do this 3 years.
Yeah.
These aren't movies, guys. These are TV shows. They require a lot more time for us to watch.
Mm-hmm. That's like me with Severance. I watched Severance right before the new season came out. So I was like, oh yeah, I remember everything. We in it. I'm in Severance mode. Everybody else was like, oh, right. What was happening 3 years ago?
Yeah, I know Anna Sawai is busy kind of starting her movie career, which good on her. Love that for her. But if we can get back into making Monarch like immediately, like we got to go. We got to go. Because those visual effects, I know are time consuming because they're actually very good visual effects too. Like these are, I feel like movie level effects. There's a Titan fight in like episode 6 or 7 that I was like, y'all just did this to do it. Like how this is expensive. And I know it's expensive. And the fact that they let you guys do this for the purpose that you're using it for is insane because that's an insane amount of money to spend on that. But it's very good. It's so good. I enjoy this show. And the funny thing is, I don't even think it's a perfect show. Second season is like 4 stars across the board.
Okay.
And even then, I think the first season is like not quite 4 stars. I give it 4 stars because I love it so much, but it's not even quite 4 stars. It's like there's still some work that needs to be done here, but I think that they got better this season. Really, very much enjoyed it. Please bring it back sooner rather than later because I look forward to this show more than I look forward to any of the MonsterVerse movies. Also, they left us off with a very cool monster cliffhanger, and I really want to know where we're going with that.
Fun.
Let's do it. Let's go. That's Monarch, Legacy of Monsters. Like I said, please bring it back soon.
All right. I don't think there's any connective tissue between this thing and our next thing, so I'm just going to say Abbott Elementary. That's next.
Diverse. That's about all I got.
Yeah. It's diverse. Abbott Elementary is created by Quinta Brunson and stars Quinta Brunson, Tyler James Williams, Janelle James, Lisa Ann Walter, Chris Perfetti, Cheryl Lee Ralph, William Stanford Davis. Also, Luke Tenney is in it now, and I love that. That makes me very happy.
I do too.
For those who don't know, Luke Tenney is Sean on Shrinking. And
he was also in Deadly Class.
He's in Deadly Class. He was in The Pit. He working. Shout out to him. IMDb summary. It's a Philly school, and they're broke. I don't need to read all that. It's a school. They're broke. They're teachers. You got it. The show is more of what I like and some of what I don't from seasons past. It's a very consistent show. I appreciate that. 5 seasons of a show that isn't going to become my favorite, but I'm sure I'll never dislike. It is consistently one of the better comedies on TV. And I'm happy about it.
I've seen most of the season. I just had the last 3 I dropped off on. I was watching like 16 shows at once. I finally got my list down to like 14 or 13 this week.
Yes, man. You're getting there. Yeah, it's still great. It's very funny. All the performances are great. Hatred is too strong a word, but I have a very deep dislike of Ava. That does not mean she's not funny. I love
Ava.
Janelle James is hilarious, and Ava is very funny more often than not. But I cannot stand that woman, and I know.
Well, if she was a real person, no, you would not want to hang out with Ava.
She's
ever.
Such a bully. And
see, this is what I mean by I like TV show fictional drama, because if Ava was somebody I had to like coexist with, I would hate that.
Oh no,
I love watching her on Abbott Elementary.
She has some of the funniest lines. Her showing up on Halloween as Darth Ma. Dressed as Darth Maul with the wig from Ma. One of my favorite jokes on the show. The Halloween episodes are always some of my favorites. For the most part, it is episodic. So it's like talking about it is like, hey, this thing was very funny. I like this performance from this person. Toward the end, we get a little more serialized with the relationship stuff we're going to talk about. There's a storyline where they have to teach out of a mall.
That was funny.
there's a giant Ben Franklin head in the mall, and it's like this Lovecraftian horror for these kids, and it's so funny. Ah, the show's just so funny.
This is a show for me that I'm like, oh, and this is probably why I'm 3 episodes behind. It's because it's one of those like shows that I find to be very cozy and like very like, oh, I can just come back to this at any time. Like it doesn't feel like I need to prioritize. I have to watch this immediately. It's not like I'm a sci-fi fantasy girly. Like sci-fi fantasy dramas I watch a lot of, and those are usually like you have to watch them immediately or else you're very likely to get spoiled about something. Yeah. Whereas Abbott Elementary, I'm like, I don't have to feel that kind of concern. And I think that's a pro for the show. Like it's like, this is very comfortable. This is very cozy. I can come back to this at any time and feel like no time has passed at all. It's like an old friend.
Right. And like being an old friend is a good terminology because it feels like older TV. Like I don't watch a lot of regular television sitcoms anymore. This is the only one. So like
bring back network TV.
Right. 22 episodes every year. It comes back. It's consistent, like a nice throw it on, get some laughs. We're having a great time. Tyler James Williams, consistently my favorite part of the show. Shout out to Gregory.
That's because he's you.
He is me, but like funnier. And then there's an episode where the little boys in his gardening club don't want a girl to join.
Yeah.
And as the MVP teacher that he is, he fixes elementary school misogyny in a few days. Shout out to him. That's amazing. These kids are the worst. Kids are terrible. Also, there's an April Fool's episode where the students are pranking the teachers. And I want Tyler James Williams to get an Emmy just for the line delivery of, I'm not doing this all day with these damn kids. Because that made me laugh so hard. He's great. He's great.
Yeah. It's just a show that it's just like consistently funny across the board. Like if you just want to sit down and watch something fun, very funny, this is a great choice. I love the fact that they continue to come up with new storylines every season. Like I don't know how you could do this every 22 episodes a year, school storylines. Like, oh my gosh, how many could there possibly be? But apparently there are enough. I love the baseball episode. That one was a lot of fun.
That was a good one. The ones where they go out into different places are always fun. Like get out of the school for a bit. But even in the school, they have the kids are all great. All the kids acting on this show. There's a girl, I think her name is Courtney. She's like the light-skinned girl who's kind of like the ringleader sometimes.
Yeah.
And the way that the teachers kind of look at her is like, the kids listen to you, Courtney. She's great. But yeah, like you said, they think of different story. There's a storyline where one of Melissa's former students comes back and he's very successful, seemingly, and she's very proud of him. And then it turns out like, oh no, he's running crypto scams. But if you think about it, think about the way Melissa talks. Yeah. She's a walking rap sheet. So of course one of her kids would get into this. Like I'm surprised it didn't happen to her more. But it's so good. Last thing, I have to talk about the relationship stuff at the end. They have a very silly and avoidable fight, in my opinion. It did lead to some very nice moments and some hilarious ones. But the whole issue is that they're trying to compromise on something that they want to do. They want to take a trip and they're having disagreements about the details of the trip.
And how to do it.
As someone who is in happy marriage where compromise is pretty easy, I was just watching this like, this isn't even like this is what you're fighting about? Especially, and I was vindicated because where they end up landing, the compromise they end up actually landing on, is the first thing I thought of when they had this issue. So I was like, yeah, I could have told you that 2 episodes ago. We need to do all this. But we do get some nice moments. Janine talks to Barbara and Gregory talks to Mr. Johnson. And, you know, they have the old head wisdom talking to the kids about like, yeah, and it's great. I very much enjoyed both of those scenes. Janine and Gregory are both off at compromise in this one, but it's hilarious to me that at one point Janine says she has a better compromise, and it's pretty much just doing the things she wanted to do in the first place. I was like, Janine, it's the opposite of that.
I understood what her stance on that was, though, because it was like, for him, it was like a money thing. He was like, I didn't want to spend the money, and she's like, okay, well, I will then.
Yeah, and I get that, like, when you think about why that was her thought process, it made sense to me, but just like on the surface, it was, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. And then she was like, compromise, we'll do this. But it worked out in a way. I do have to address something that I couldn't get out of my head. Did you see the episode where they go to the clubs after this like fight? It might be the one right after the last. Okay. So they go to clubs because, you know, friends are always like, oh, you got to get out and get to the club. You in a bad situation. Go get some drinks. Party. Throw some ass. Blah, blah, blah.
Love that.
And they go to 2 separate clubs. Both of these clubs are playing This Is Why I'm Hot by Mims. And I don't go to clubs. I don't go to lounges a lot or at all. I feel like this show is vastly overstating how much play "This Is Why I'm Hot" gets in 2026. Because
Listen,
the
listen,
fact
Dub,
that
I don't think you understand.
so
He's hot because he's fly. You ain't because you not. There's
he is hot because he's
there's a
fly.
through line here. You
They ain't because they not. You're very right. Not even gonna 20 years ago, maybe my favorite song. But the fact that two clubs in Philly would be playing this song at the same time. I had to Google if Mims was from Philly because I was like, this has to be a Philly thing. He's not. He's from New York. I don't know what's happening. But I had to get that off my chest because I couldn't get my mind off of it. Why is everybody playing This Is Why I'm Hot? The song is 20 years old. Other than that, great season. And if we're being honest, I'm not even mad about it. I like that song. Just like Gregory. You'll watch the episode and you realize how much Gregory likes that song. But yeah, hilarious show. I will watch it forever. It will run forever until all these kids grow up and go to college or whatever. But yeah, that's our Abbott talk, which means
So, Cassie,
hello.
Cassie gets to talk now.
Wow, I'm still here.
10-minute take.
Yep, I did one of those. God. Whew. So sometimes I do these 10-minute takes, and based on what the property is, I have a good idea of how I'm going to feel going into it. And I will admit that may color how I experience a thing.
Fair.
Oh, I gotta tell you, the first 10 minutes of Ironheart were painful.
Ooh, interesting.
I don't know that it's the show itself. The MCU is such a vacuous thing that I couldn't help but feel that
I should send that video to Cassie.
throughout this entire 10 minutes, that it exists purely to prop up the MCU itself. The number of times they have to mention, oh, she's Stark's legacy. Why can't she be her own person? Why can't she do her own shit? Because she wants to do her own shit. And also, how do you, the black girl being like, I'm going to revolutionize safety. Obviously, I watched 10 minutes, but we need to interrogate what that means. Who are you just going to help the firefighters? Are you going to make sure that the cops don't get this shit? Because you know who they're going to use it on. And just, you go to MIT, you build the stuff at MIT with grant money, and they let you take it to Chicago. Like, they wouldn't be able to shut that shit down because it'd be proprietary, because anything you made with their money would belong to them. Come on. That's not how that works.
That was pretty wild. I was like, yo, Riri.
I mean, she becomes a criminal throughout most of the rest of this show, so I'm not.
No, I'm not mad at her for taking it. It's the believability that she was able to. Like, especially when she's getting in the armor and the security motherfuckers are like, yo, we're making sure she doesn't take anything that doesn't belong to her. That suit should not belong to her. It should be proprietary to MIT because she built it there with their money. So, like,
who gonna stop me? Who gonna take my suit? Who gonna stop me?
Be able to stop her.
She wasn't fully in the suit. You could tase her something. You could probably actually tase her in the suit. It would probably conduct that electricity real well. The point is, that was stretching credibility. Look, I lost my love for the MCU a long time ago, and I don't regret not getting it back. And this show was reminding me why it's not worth getting it back, because it's just, oh, look, that one random dude who's probably never going to come back said Thanos wasn't the end or whatever. So it's like, ooh, yay, you can point at that and go, they referenced something I know. And then you feel good about it. But it's not, what is it doing? Why is it there? Why do we have to keep referencing the dead guy? We get it, he died. Can we move on?
Cassie, I think the way that you hate nostalgia kind of clouds the way that you see certain things. Because you have to think about, in this world, if something like that happened, people wouldn't stop talking about it. If a purple alien showed up, if Grimace from McDonald's showed up and killed half of life,
which is fine, but
for 5 years.
If they're going to do that, have the guy say Thanos wasn't the end or was only the beginning. I can't remember what he said, but it was something like that.
Yeah,
what more would he have said? What more was that? What was he trying to tell the world? Was he trying to make a point that, like, this is how humans are going to treat each other weird now? No, it was just so that he could say Thanos and people could know, yeah, you remember that Thanos was a thing. And it's just like,
I mean, but if I go to, like, Americana and there's someone out there with a bullhorn talking about, like, the world is ending, I'm not going to sit there and wonder what the rest of his monologue is going to be. I'm going to the mall.
The thing about that, though, is that you hear the motherfucking go on, the world is ending, and you know, or you believe, that there is nothing behind that. They have their beliefs, they have their ideas, yada, yada. This man is referencing a very real thing that happened that affected every single person on Earth. So, where is he? What are his thoughts? What does he mean? he has something to draw on. Now,
I mean, people do that all the time.
to be fair, a lot of people do have something to draw on. They're usually drawing on something religious, their interpretation of it, et cetera, et cetera. That's a lot of the world is ending. But this is different because it's not just based in their beliefs. It's based in, yeah, y'all saw this bald-headed purple motherfucker. You saw that shit. You know what he did. And I don't know. It just felt very like this exists to be another property where you can point at it and go, they said a name that I know, and then move on. And that's great. People, that works for people. But,
I find the 10-minute text to be very funny because we all acknowledge that they are very, almost like very bad ways of judging like a full property because
it's objectively a bad way of judging.
oh, but it's so funny.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so funny because it's objectively a bad way of doing this. Like the whole purpose of the show is that it's about her finding her own way that has nothing to do with Tony Stark.
that's
like,
not true, though.
like
What
that
is
line-
She is a Tony Stark clone.
It is.
Her name is Ironheart. She
But
has
that's
a
not-
suit
that's
very
not
much like
true.
his.
She's
She is meant to kill.
just because she has a suit like his doesn't mean that she's just like him.
It doesn't mean that she's just like him, but you can't say that she's not carrying on his legacy.
That's the crazy part. The show's not even about the suit. What Riri actually invents in the show is not the suit. She becomes her own person because of what she invents within the show.
Does she have a different
and
name
what
than Ironheart?
she invents.
Because let's be honest, Ironheart, Iron Spider, nigga, you know what you're doing.
It's not about the persona, though. The show's not about the persona. The show is about what she invents. And what she invents is the show's through line into discussing codependency and grief. Because that's what the show is actually about.
True.
And that, I think...
That's
But the
true.
first 10 minutes doesn't show you that.
Right, but the first 10 minutes could have done more to make Riri an actual person who had her own dreams and desires that weren't connected to somebody else. If I'm obviously...
She's a college
again,
student.
This is a bad way
You
to
go
judge
based off of your
things.
inspirations.
No, you don't. Not necessarily. Sometimes you already know when you get to college what you want to be and what you want to do. And I wish that she had something from the jump that was not connected to this dude who we already hear so much about because he died.
I mean, when she was talking about wanting to like revolutionize safety and all that stuff, was she talking about Tony Stark?
She was talking about his legacy.
Okay.
She specifically said she wanted to continue what he was doing, but like improve upon it, right? Because he had the idea to throw armor around the world. It sounded, she didn't say that, but that was basically what she was saying is like, I want to do what he was planning to do, but better. I want to make it work.
Okay.
And I'm just like, girl.
Yeah, it's so funny.
You're
I
the
haven't
wrong
watched the
person,
show in a
nigga.
minute, and as I was talking about it, I was like, "Oh, right, there's the whole." I can't think of the character's name right now.
Me either. It's also been a while since I watched.
Yeah, but that's that. The whole point is about her and what is the character's name? Her and Natalie.
Natalie.
Makes sense. She actually has someone she really truly cares about, and I never believed that he did. He said he did, but did he?
I mean, he fought Captain America and Winter Soldier over his mama, so he cared about somebody.
Also, Spider-Man.
Which is weird.
And Pepper.
Which is weird. It's almost getting into Sad Dad and Elliot Page territory, except no, you're not. Actually, it kind of is getting into Sad Dad and Elliot Page territory because that's not actually your kid, but you're being all weird and parental.
Yeah, it's also
and,
not his kid.
Ugh.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't know what we're referencing here until it just clicked in my head. Okay. I was like, what's happening?
It's because
I was like, that's a
Ellie
trope that I don't remember.
Looks like
But no,
Elliot
I know
Page
what you're
used to
talking
look,
about. No, I
so-
got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It took me a second. I got there.
Yeah, we're all together now.
The funny thing though, Cassie, like to a degree, I do agree with your criticisms of the MCU as like a wider thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just not for the show as a whole, because I've actually seen the whole show.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes with Cassie, it's like what you're saying. I get the feeling because we've all not all of us, but like a lot of people have felt this thing about the MCU. It's like, oh, everything's just trying to like push this and da 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 da. It's just sometimes the examples, and when you only have 10 minutes, your examples are limited. But it's just like you're taking an extra talking about Thanos, and like that's I don't know if we want to use that as our.
To be fair, I mean that's also connected to my
litmus.
wider feeling that they really did not do enough with the impact of Thanos on the world. And I'm just forever disappointed in that. It was such a good concept, and then they had it in little bits here and there, but they never really got into the meat of what does it mean to have been gone for 5 years or to have this person gone for 5 years and then come back. They did some of it. I wish they'd done more. And that's ultimately what it was. That bit of just like,
Okay, yeah. So like when you
damn.
see that guy, you want more.
and like, it's like I said, I already have this distaste for the MCU and for what it is as a as an idea, as a project, what have you. And so obviously from the very beginning, when they're doing when she and I assume Natalie are on a video, they're recording a video, and they're immediately spouting off, we're going to be bigger than Pym and bigger than Stark, blah, 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 blah. And what do you want? Oh, I want a knight with Thor in his hammer. I was just like, okay, we're already doing it. Great.
I mean, they're teenage girls in that video. Like, yeah, they would talk about stuff like that.
I guess. I think what it is for me is we already live in a world that elevates certain people to status that I will never understand. And then we get into this fictional world and they do the same thing. And if I don't like it in this one, I don't like it in that one. And so it's just, I wish we could talk about something else. And I'm sure that they do.
I mean, the MCU is grounded in a level of realism that, like, people are going to behave as people.
Yeah, except, see, that's my thing, though, is you choose what realism to do. And I understand that celebrity culture is going to infiltrate this based on what it is, especially when you have this motherfucker with a shield propped up as this is the symbol of America. But I don't know. It's just one of those things that, like, that's just a personal thing of, like, I don't like this in real life. So seeing it in fiction
right, you don't want to see it
annoying.
In fiction either.
Yeah.
That's a taste thing. I get that.
Dallas, anything that you are currently watching? Outside of the other 12,000 shows that me and you are always constantly watching?
So I'm trying to think anything I'm not just about to come back to for a review. So I'm not going to talk about Daredevil because I'll be reviewing that. I just started Margot's Got Money Troubles. And I haven't watched a lot of it, so I'm talking about that because I don't have a whole lot to say and it won't take me very long. I don't know yet. I've seen like an episode and like and a half. I'm watching it because I became a really big Elle Fanning fan when she played a robot in Predator Badlands. This is nothing like that. He plays a single mother who, oh wow, I didn't even think about that when I started the episode, but she starts in OnlyFans. And ironically, that's not why I started the episode like this.
Yeah, because you had no idea you were going to bring this up.
I didn't. But yeah, single mom starts in OnlyFans. Her mom is Michelle Pfeiffer, and her dad is Nick Offerman, and her dad was a professional wrestler. And that also perked my ears up. So I was like, Elle Fanning, I like her. Nick Offerman, I like him. Michelle Pfeiffer, I like her. I like wrestling. OnlyFans sounds interesting. Let's give it a shot. So far, it's pretty funny. She's giving a great performance. Yeah, I'm liking it so far. I don't have a lot to say because I haven't seen a lot of it, but I'll keep y'all posted.
I will also keep this pretty brief. I am watching 2 actual plays right now. Well, listening to one, watching the other. I'm watching one called Private Nightmares, which is game mastered by Alex Ward, who is a great monster man. Love him.
Say Monster Man?
Yeah, he typically plays monsters on like he has like a Doug Jones type of career where he like gets into like prosthetics and stuff and plays monsters. That's just kind of his style. But he runs an actual play with Vampire the Masquerade, and it is so good. It is one of my favorite actual plays that I've ever seen because they're not just playing at a table. What they are doing is they are playing on like a theater stage, and everybody is sitting in like armchairs and on couches. And because they are on a stage, they are able to get up and like act out their characters and move about like their characters would in certain situations. And I think that's a like really interesting way to evolve the actual play genre, I guess. Would you call it a genre?
I guess.
Sure.
Yeah. I really enjoy it a lot. I feel like it's very immersive and kind of interactive in that way. It's very good. Also, I love vampires. I also really love the players that they've got. Abria Iyengar, who is one of my favorite just players of any tabletop RPG period. Luis Carrazzo is also another like tabletop RPG player that I just love. The entire cast are like people who I really enjoy watching. So highly recommend that one. And then I'm also listening to World Beyond Numbers.
Hey, this is so exciting. Oh, this is so exciting. I need to...
Yeah, I just finished the first arc.
So, okay, I'm having trouble... I don't remember what they call... I think the whole thing is the first chapter. So, did you finish...
Perhaps, I don't know.
The Wizard, the Witch, and the Wild one, or the first arc of that? Because that's where I get confused.
The first arc of that.
Ooh, okay. Where does that end?
That ends with they just freed a god. They just freed a wild spirit.
Okay, awesome. Yeah,
the Derek.
I'm trying to finish, and so I decided to go back to the arc right after that, and I just ended that one.
Yeah, so I'm about to start. I probably will start that one today. But yeah, it's DM'd by Brennan Lee Mulligan, who is one of my favorite DMs, definitely on the Mount Rushmore. It's also got Abria Iyengar, as I said, one of my favorite players. Erika Ishii, who is also a person I love watching to roleplay or listening to roleplay in this situation. And Lou Wilson, who is another one of my faves. I love when people of color play Dungeons and Dragons. They just bring a whole different type of energy to it. So while Brennan is the whitest of white men,
Yo.
you bring in Abria and Lou and then Erika Ishii, who is Asian, and like you get like these different flavors into D&D. Like there are several moments in the first arc where Abria's character is dealing with her surrogate parent, and the way I was like, oh, this is so black child afraid of their black mama coming home. Oh my gosh, I know this feeling very well. And then like when she gets scolded, I was like, I've been in this situation before, and I felt it in my body.
So if you haven't seen The Unsleeping City from Dimension 20, I would recommend it because
I have not.
Lou plays an elderly black man, and it's
oh my gosh,
it's just so like, yeah. I have met that man. I have been around that man. Yep.
I love what Abria and Lou bring to D&D because it's so relatable to me as a black woman. I watch a lot of actual play that predominantly has mostly white casts. And that's not a bad thing. I love those shows. I freaking love Critical Role. I appreciate Critical Role more now because we have Abria as a player and we've got Luis as a player. So there's a little bit more diversity being added into the game. But yeah, when I get to hear Abria and Lou just kind of bring their experiences and bring their cultural histories into their characters, it just means so much. Abria is even currently doing that on Critical Role, where her character is an orc, and she's bringing a lot of layers of American enslavement into the character, and it's very interesting and very fascinating, and something that I've only ever seen Abria Iyengar do things like this. So I love watching her play, and I love watching her DM as well. But yeah, so World Beyond Numbers and Private Nightmares, those are currently the actual plays that I'm into, and they make me happy. Make me very happy. Both of them are so much shorter than Critical Role. I spend like 3.5 to 5 hours a week watching one episode of Critical Role, whereas Private Nightmares and World Beyond Numbers are typically anywhere between like an hour
it's so much
and like
easier.
2.5 hours.
Which also...
Oh yeah, I can watch multiple episodes of World Beyond Numbers in a day.
Hit me up when you go through the Conclave, because that's where I went back to, because that's probably my favorite entire section. So we're going to need to talk about that, because it's like I got a Worlds Beyond Numbers sticker on my water bottle for one of the witches from the Conclave, because I just...
So I'm into it now.
Do we assume that Cassie's not bringing up what you're watching?
I mean, I can go briefly into stuff.
What you been watching?
I rewatched and actually finished The Expanse, and I kind of wish that I hadn't, because that last season was not it, let me tell you.
Oh no. Speaking of Dominique Tipper, though, she is on Monarch, and that makes me very happy.
Really? Ooh, I might have to get back to it, because she's so... Yeah, it's...
She's not a lead, but she recurs.
Okay, that's fine. I love her. Yeah, I hadn't seen that 6th season before, and I kind of wish I hadn't. It just...
I still haven't seen it.
So, I mean, I won't spoil too much, but I think the problem is that season 6 introduces stuff that it knows it's never going to pay off.
No, we can't introduce new things. This is the final season.
The season starts with new thing, and that new thing carries out through all the episodes, and it actually is really interesting, but then it never goes anywhere because it can't, because they have 6 episodes and that's it. It's, those things where they'll start the season or they'll start the episode with like we're in another location with people you don't know, and we're going to come back to this, and they do that, and it's super cool. Doesn't matter, ultimately. They introduce a huge mystery at the end of season 5 that never gets explained. It gets used, you see it, but it never gets explained. You never know what it is or why it matters or how it works. And it's just like, why did you do this? Why did you introduce new stuff when you knew you weren't going to pay it off? Like, if this was in the book, fine, but you didn't have to include it just to make me go, cool, what was that? What was the point? Why am I ever going to find out what happened to that freaky fucking child? Don't have kids.
You will not.
It's bad. They will die.
Dang.
And then they will, well, it's, I don't know. It made me sad. Because the first 5 seasons, mostly immaculate. That 5th one is a bit of a mess for me, but I also like it. But then season 6, I'm just like, Amazon, why? Why you do this? Why did you truncate it, first of all, which I never understand. unless the show was like super declining, I don't know, in viewership, but it's just like you truncated the last season to 6 episodes, and then the showrunners or whoever chose to add stuff in that was never going to pay off. Like, but yeah, that's the main thing. I also rewatched The Long Walk last night, and
Oh,
it's definitely going to be a maybe once every few years or something movie if I want to watch, because it
I'm
still hits.
surprised you went back to that.
I've been wanting to rewatch it, and then I was with my partner, and I was like, "Hey, you want to watch a really good but depressing movie?" And he was like, "Yeah." And then about halfway through, he was like, "Yeah, you were right.
That's
That
the
is
one.
what this is."
That's the one for that.
Yeah. Man.
Great movie. I don't know if I'll ever watch that again.
You know, every once in a while, maybe once a decade, I think it's worth going back to because it is so good. But
Yeah, definitely worth it.
Anyway, yeah.
Nice. Love that for you. Thanks for having a What You Watching.
Yeah.
All
Things
right.
We're excited about.
Things you're excited for.
Clayface.
Yo, that trailer though.
Oh my God. I can't wait.
That teaser was it a teaser? Was it a trailer? What are we calling it?
They call it
teaser.
a teaser.
That makes sense. I didn't get any sense of plot, really.
Yeah. Bad stuff happens to
It
him.
hit.
Yo.
It was very good. And I was hearing some pretty hype stuff about it from CinemaCon before they finally like dropped it officially. And oh boy, that last shot is incredible.
Wild.
That's what got me. The rest of it, I was like, I know the general setup. Okay, I don't know. Oh, good. Okay. Yep. Clay that face.
I don't do horror movies, but I might have to force myself to watch this through my fingers.
You know you're gonna watch it. You gonna watch it.
My brother is insistent. He was like, "No, you have to go see this with me.
Taste.
We have to go together."
Yeah.
It's the DCU.
We should all
you
go
know
together.
you're gonna watch it.
I know, but man, my whole body is in anxiety mode over
Here's
it.
what I'll say. Watch The Substance and know that nothing will ever be as bad.
I don't. And it's funny because it's not even like the final shot. The final shot doesn't get to me. It's him in the hospital bed, like really messed up. That's what gets to me.
Mm-hmm.
You're just like staring into the camera.
Yep.
Yeah, that just I'm like that's a lot for me. My horror senses are tingling very hard. I don't like it.
I can't wait. I don't even like body horror really. That's not my type of horror. But for a character like Clayface, it's so perfectly suited for it that I can't.
Yeah.
Also, that last shot I watched on YouTube, and I noticed that people are commenting that if you look closely, he's not in the bathtub. He is the bathtub.
He's in himself.
What?
He is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the coolest shit I've ever seen. I need to watch that teaser again, like as soon as we're done.
Which is crazy. I look back, it's like, oh my God, this nigga's the thug.
Oh gosh.
It's gonna be wild.
Yeah. It's gonna be a wild time. Comes out in October now. It is now a Halloween movie.
Good. That feels right.
As it should be.
Yeah. So keep watching this space because there will definitely be a review on that.
100%. Shout out to spooky season. I can't wait.
Cassie, is there anything other than Clayface for you, or?
I've been trying to think about it. I did not realize that Mortal Kombat 2 comes out next week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So that rocks. I'm really interested. Not like, oh my God, I love Mortal Kombat, but I want to watch this and then give it a couple months, and I want to watch Street Fighter and just see how they compare. Yeah, like what they're doing tonally and just how's that going to go, because they look a little different. Street Fighter looks a little cheesier.
Yeah, I feel like Street Fighter's leaning more into the silliness than Mortal Kombat is.
Mm-hmm.
And the games have always had different vibes anyway.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. But I love that we're getting a Street Fighter and a Mortal Kombat movie in the same year.
Within like months of each other. Like, what a time.
Yeah.
I look forward to Cassie's video essay about the differences of tone and execution of these movies.
Execution. You want to talk executions? Let me tell you, there's going to be some. Are there going to be any in Street Fighter? I don't know. They don't go in for that as much.
Yeah, I doubt it, but it's going to be a fun time.
Yeah, I said it's Star Wars month. I was going to say it's Star Wars week, but no, it is Star Wars month, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know when this episode is going to release. Either May 4th has happened, is happening, or no, has happened or is happening. It's one of those two, but it'll be May the 4th. May the 4th be with you, if I have not said it to you yet.
And also with you.
But not only is it May the 4th, which is when Maul, Shadow Lord, will be ending its first season, but on May 6th, they are putting up ticket sales for Star Wars Celebration for next year. And obviously, I'm going to try and get tickets. It'll be my third Star Wars Celebration, and it's happening here in LA, which means hopefully it'll be easier to get to and not nearly as expensive for me because I live here. But I'm super excited. This Star Wars celebration will be celebrating 50 years of Star Wars. So that's another
Wow.
big reason why I'm super stoked to go. Everybody's excited and expecting there to be a whole lot of guest appearances because it is in LA and because it is the 50-year anniversary of Star Wars. So it's going to be a huge Star Wars celebration. And even though it's a year out, I'm already super excited. I'm already planning on pre-ordering the 50th anniversary flight jacket that they have for merch.
Oh, they're
It
gonna
looks
get
incredible.
you. Watch your bank account, babe.
It's only
Only.
$125. I thought it was going to be
Only.
like $200. Hold on, my Jesus Christ
Okay.
Superstar jacket was $150. I am
For
Yeah, I was gonna
surprised.
say for that kind of
Superstar?
thing.
Yeah, that was when I went
How
to go
is
see
Star
Cynthia
Wars
Erivo
less?
at Hollywood Bowl.
No, I know. I just feel like, how is Star Wars charging less than Jesus Christ Superstar? If anybody's gonna charge you an arm and a leg, it's Disney saying 50 years of Star Wars, motherfucker. Give us your bank account.
That's what I thought too.
Give us all
So
that.
I was like
all
125. I can drop 125, especially because I currently have a job, so I'll have money to pay for this.
Love
Oh,
that for
you're
you.
gonna swipe that card for days.
Yeah, but also on top of this week being Star Wars celebration tickets and being Star Wars Day, at the end of the month we have The Mandalorian and Grogu. And as I said earlier, I
Yeah.
smile whenever I see that trailer. I have no idea how good this movie will be, but I am super excited about Star Wars finally being back in a movie theater. It's been almost 10 years since we've had Star Wars in theaters, and
Oh, yeah.
I love Star Wars. It has been the love of my life since I was about 8 or 9 years old, so I'm very stoked about this. I'm also currently rewatching The Mandalorian.
Oh, nice. So I
Makes sense.
need you to tell me if I don't know the character's name. The Hutt gives off Carmy energy. Is he just tired all the time? Like, I need the vibe.
Cousin,
I will let you
Cousin.
know.
I
With the
want it to be the
carbonite,
exact
now.
same voice.
Yeah, I'm very stoked. I already have 2 sets of tickets to go see it, which is not unusual for me at this point with Star Wars movies. I typically have 2 sets like at the ready
Yeah.
before the movie even comes out.
Yeah.
I'm very stoked. My Mandalorian rewatch is basically 1 episode a day up until the movie actually comes out,
Mhm.
which is the perfect way to do this, I feel like, instead of me trying to binge my way
Yeah.
through the entire show right before the movie comes out.
You say it's been almost a decade since Star Wars in theater, but it's, war flashbacks. I can send myself back there in an instant.
As former movie theater employees, we all can. And luckily for me, I only had to work 1 of those, which might have been the worst one, but I only
Probably.
had
Was
to do it
Force
once.
Awakens?
Yeah, that's the only one I had
That
to
was
work.
probably the worst one.
Yeah, that was the worst one. That was
And
definitely
to
the
be
worst
fair,
one.
whenever I think back to that weekend, I don't think about working it. I think about actually going to see the movie. That's the highlight
That
of
makes
that
sense.
weekend
I
for
love
me.
that for you.
So you guys all get like PTSD, and I'm just like, oh, what a weekend! Star Wars came back.
Yeah, I think about telling people to take their backpacks back to their car at 2:00 in the morning.
I do also think about that old man who yelled at me for telling his granddaughter that she had to take her bag back to the car. And then he yelled at me for so long that his granddaughter took her bag back to the car and came back.
By the time he was done yelling, the
old
deed
people.
was already done.
Yeah.
Bruh.
Oh, people love
You
the
People
are
be crazy.
nearing the end of your life. Maybe spending your time on more important
bro.
things like, being with your daughter, not yelling at a movie theater employee who's
And
making
this is a
minimum
long ass
wage
movie, bro.
and- Yeah,
It's a long ass movie. You might not make it through the whole thing. You better get in there.
right. It's gonna have bright lights. It's gonna have loud sounds. I don't know your heart can take it.
All right, that's a good place to stop. Thank you, audience, for listening to all that. We love you. You're great. Speaking of people we love, Brandon, Ayo, thank you for putting us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Demi, thank you for editing, putting us on YouTube. Right before the Godzilla girlies and the Star. What are Star Wars fans? You guys have a name, right?
I don't think we
Do
do.
you have a name?
I don't think
Wild.
so. I think
It's
we're
been
so
50
old
years.
that we don't have one.
Crazy.
That
We predate that.
the
Probably not Star
Uh,
Wars. That's not a great one.
You know what I think? I don't think Star Wars as a whole has a name. I think you have
Uh-huh.
little subsections of Star Wars that have like names, like different
Okay.
fandoms within the fandom, which is one thing that I appreciate about Star Wars. I love the fact that Star
Ah.
Wars is such a wide spanning thing that like you could have a PhD in just that small section of the universe.
Right. Cassie, thank you for your 10-minute take on Ironheart and actually having a what you're watching. We actually had more of a discussion than we normally get out of a 10-minute take, so that was fun.
Yeah.
Appreciate you talking. Audience, as always, you can reach us in the comments or you can hit us on Instagram and Tumblr at Creative Differences Podcast, Facebook.com/Creative Differences PC, or TikTok at Creative Differences Pod. If you want to talk to me about where Thrag found a black barber in space, you can find me on Instagram, Letterboxd, or Serialized at a king named Simba.
I'm gonna say probably the same place that like Jon Stewart goes. I don't know. Is it John?
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's from Earth. He probably got a like Detroit barber.
That's fair. You can find me on Blue Sky at Sassy Soothsayer. I can't even say my own name. It's crazy.
You picked that name for yourself.
I know. Talk to me about, you know what? Talk to me about Game of Thrones because I'm about to start rewatching it with my partner, and
Oh,
it's gonna be fun
Fascinating.
because you'll see my mood gradually decrease once we hit season 6.
love that for you. Has he seen it?
I don't know if he's seen all of it. I think so, but I'm not sure. But he
Okay.
hasn't
Are
seen
you
it
guys
with
also
somebody
gonna
who's going to
do
sit
House of-
there and yell about it. And no, we are not going to do Hot D because that show is not for me at all. So,
Are you gonna do A Night of the Seven Kingdoms?
maybe because I really do want to watch that.
It's very good. I think it gets extremely good when you get to episodes like 4 and beyond, but it's good.
Okay. I mean, I like the book, so I ain't mad about it.
Oh, you guys can find me on Letterboxd and Serialized at Demi Joie. Joie is spelled Joie. I occasionally do full-on movie reviews. I more often do television reviews, and because I am currently rewatching Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Angel, and The Mandalorian, you will catch me doing separate reviews for some of those episodes occasionally. So yeah, I think Monarch is the thing that I have mostly reviewed because I think I did a review for every episode of season 2, which is crazy because I usually don't do that, but.
You have thoughts.
But you can catch me there. It's funny. I find my TV reviews to be so much more fun than my movie reviews.
Interesting.
I get that. There's more time for things to develop.
I think also I just kind of talk about just the things that really grab me in the episode. Like, here's the thing that really catches me versus like movies where I'm like, here is my analysis of what I just watched.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Unless
Like
I'm doing a joke review.
I think my review on Abbott was one of them. Was just why are they playing? This is why I'm hot so much. And you can
Sometimes
just say
that's the only question you need to ask.
My Buffy reviews have been quite often like analyses of Buffy and Faith, but like
Makes
one
sense.
of my favorite reviews that I've done recently was the Daredevil review from this past week that Dallas clocked me on without having to read the review.
Yeah, very much on brand for you.
Where can we find Gabby?
We can find Gabby on OnlyFans, but you won't let us tell you her profile name, so good luck. Happy hunting. All right, it's been different. Bye.
Bye.
I have a question for Demi.
Yo.
What do you think Janine from Abbott Elementary would be doing on OnlyFans if she started an account?
It's a good question, actually. I feel like, okay, so OnlyFans is not just for the stuff that we consider OnlyFans to be for. It legitimately
This is true.
is like for doing all sorts of things that you can think of.
Yeah.
She's got to be doing some sort of teaching thing, right?
She could be
gotta be-
teaching English, math.
Or she's giving advice on teaching,
She could be giving advice on teaching. Or
specifically teaching
She could-
kindergartners. Or
True.
like, what grade does she teach? Second grade? Whatever. First grade? Something.
something young. I
You
don't know.
mean Cheryl Lee Ross character?
Janine is
No.
Quinta,
Oh, okay.
main character.
Okay.
Do you have any thoughts as someone who doesn't watch the show, what she would be doing?
I do feel like it would be okay, so I feel like it would be teaching stuff, but it would be like really cutesy and really like upbeat and a lot of mnemonics
Yes.
and acronyms and very like here's your positive teaching message for the day.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
Ooh. People are
As-
paying to get positive mantras every day.
People need that.
That feels more like Ava though. Except they're not actually worth anything.
Ava will be scamming.
Ava's giving you advice on how to get a baller.
Definitely. And as someone who has finished the season, I will not explain this, but I will say I think Janine will be sitting on cakes. Good night, everybody.